Welcome back to another episode of Hazmat Heart, an industrial strength podcast focusing on industrial strength hazmat responses. As always, I'm Steve, a hazmat technician with over 4 years of experience in the industrial field, and with me are my co-hosts Randy and Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm somebody. Hey, Randy, next to you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Randy. 18 years and doing industrial fire, I guess, but mainly hazmat. Started out in hazmat. Hazmat specialist currently. So today we have an episode. It was something that had been coming up recurrently for me this past year. I thought it'd be a good idea to do an episode. So I got Jeff and Steve together and thought we would talk about, and we've talked about this in bits and pieces in previous episodes, but talk about training. Kind of like how training is put together, like how an industrial team might think about training, things to think about. And each of us is going to take a different aspect on it. But so like I said, it's so important to what we do. Not only an emergency response, but to prep for it. I thought it was important enough to actually make its own episode on training. And for those who maybe are new to the training aspect, new to being a trainer, or have a newly developed team, this would be worth the time to actually listen about how to put training together. Maybe give you some tidbits, thoughts, and tips. So,
absolutely, I agree.
So, Jeff,
so where do you want to start off, Randy?
Well, Jeff, I would think, I think importantly, you should start at home base, right? So, what are your thoughts about like when we're working on ourselves, like a team, ourselves, so no one else? What do you think is an important thing to consider when you're trying to devise a training program, a training plan for your industrial department?
So I did, we talked about this before, like you said, and I did put a lot of thought into this, so like a team training overview. Mm-hmm. As far as like an internal part of it goes, one of it's how often do you train? There's compliance versus proficiency.
Yeah.
One thing that we do go off of in our training is the OSHA 910.120.
Yeah, that's right.
Really what the 910.120 does outline, it outlines the training requirements for the workers involved in the hazardous waste operations and emergency responses. This is the definition of it. What's that, Randy?
I was going to say, you're right. That 1910-120 is basically our Bible. Yeah. So while we're a municipal, municipal guys are NFPA, we live by OSHA code.
Yeah, absolutely. These regulations are the HAZWOPER. HAZWOPER, if you don't know, stands for Hazardous Waste Operations and Emergency Response. I kind of outlined the key training requirements based on these standards. General work or general site workers. There's the initial training, at least 40 hours of training, which includes the understanding of the potential hazards at the work site, the proper use of the PPE, decon, and emergency response. But it also includes the refresher training of 8 hours annually. And that does cover review of the hazards, the protective measures used, updates on the safety procedures, regulations, and new equipment, and changes in the job duties and tasks.
That also raises another, maybe an important question. What level are you training your folks to, right? Because, when you're talking hazmat, there's multiple different levels. So, and so, like you said, 40-hour it's a great start, but, are you training your folks to be techs? Are you training them to be ops? Do you have any specialists on board? And I don't know about you, man, but like in our neck of the woods, you can't catch a basic 40 anymore.
No.
So, no. Because I know, like for our folks, when we do onboarding, we send them like an 80-hour tech class, and that's their first blush with hazmat.
And I mean, there's other states out there, like I believe New York, that requires 120 hours to be a tech.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes that OSHA standard, just 40 hours, good for you.
Yeah.
That that's the compliance, but I think some other areas, obviously 80 and 120, that might get you a lot closer to that proficiency thing. And that's kind of what you want. You want someone who's not only credentialed, but knows which end of the car to go to.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Easy on the time fire.
Is pretty much basic requirements. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that. OSHA is based on basic requirements. That's the minimum.
Okay.
I'm going to refrain from saying my normal phrase, so we're going to go from there.
Okay, good.
I know you're waiting for it. Steven's waiting for it. I can see the look on his face.
He's got his bingo card ready.
I know the pirate talk's coming.
It may not be too far because of the way it's already started, but that's all right. Let's go down with the basic trainings on this. You have your awareness level, the first responder awareness level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how in depth we want to get with this, but first responder awareness level.
But I think in our facility, I think we try and give everyone an awareness level, which isn't much, right? We don't hold them to the OSHA awareness level, but we do teach them about awareness level things like functions, so that way they know when and how to alert us and our team. So, but you're right, the basic level is awareness, and I think that should be everyone should have that.
Yes.
I think I disagree with that, Randy. I agree everyone should have at least the operations level.
That would be nice.
That gives you 24 hours of training. Awareness level. You can see an issue going, oh crap, there's an issue. I'm going to go this way. The problem is the other way. I'm going to go this way. At least with operations, at least you can take a little bit more responsibility. It's responding to at least trying to familiarize with the chemicals.
Well, not like that, but they can start taking some defensive measures.
Yeah. Yep. Our site does a technician level, and they're involved with more of the stopping of the release and taking active measures. Yeah. I think that's the minimum of what our site requires.
And I think that's important too, but I think that's also a financial driver quite a bit because don't get me wrong, I love having a team full of techs because then there is no problem we can't overcome and tackle. But I think that it was probably designed that way because of the fiscal implication, right? Because I know when you're talking from the bean counter side of things, every hour your equipment is out of service, that's loss and overtime. That's a bill, right? So that's billable time that goes against the budget. So,
absolutely.
Instead of having to wait because you're ops and you took a defensive stand, if your team is all techs, you can speed up that operation, get in there, clean up, mitigate, correct, put back in service, and you're off you go in a much quicker clip.
Yes.
But it goes back to training, right? So kind of like what you're talking about. So compliance versus proficiency.
If you want to be compliant, I think operations is all that is required.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe some are probably awareness, but operations, I think, is a very basic. Yep. And then, I think, Randy, you're one of now 4 people that are specialists. That's another...
Yes.
Another 3-day class, 4-day class?
It is, yeah, because we had some people go through, and we're going to talk about this later in this episode, but they went through a specialty class for containers, so semi-tankers and railcar. And so through NFPA 470, they are granted the rank of specialist in those containers. So very nice. It's nice when we can upgrade people that way. Yep. But we'll talk more about that, like I said, later. Right now we're covering internal training done by internal means.
Yep. So I think the basic training that NFPA 1910-120E says is an initial training of 40 hours, but an annual training of at least 8 hours of refresher training annually. So that's only 1 day of training for 365 days a year.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. And obviously,
it does not sit well with me.
If you're being just compliant, don't get me wrong, it's really easy and cheap to get away with an 8-hour day of training. But once again, if you want to be proficient and good at what you're doing, you're going to need a lot more than 8 hours.
Absolutely. Especially in an industrial facility like ours.
Yeah. So, because, I mean, Jeff, like, what do we do for training hours, right? So let's peel back the curtain a bit. So, right, so 8 hours is your compliance. What do we wind up doing? What do we ask for our members?
So I think our trainers are top-notch individuals. I think there's about four people that are top-notch individuals. We do 4 trainings a year, so 1 quarterly, and they are full 8-hour days.
Yep.
And they're various different topics, but they're in depth. They're all hands.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, hands-on drills for what we're doing. So, and I agree, we do go in depth. It's not just death by PowerPoint, because a lot of people don't learn easily that way, and it's hard to get your hands and head around a hazmat problem based on a PowerPoint. So we offer 32 hours a year, but do we have minimums? And that might be getting towards the proficiency versus compliance, right? So
we do. You have to make 75. Yeah, you have to make 75% of those trainings.
Yeah. So
if you want to be on our team, you need to make 75% of those trainings.
Right. Yep. So I mean, I guess other institutions could, you only need 8 to certify, but we will not recertify our folks if they have less than 24 hours in a year for training.
Yep. And, we say that I said that it's a lot of hands-on stuff, but I'd say what we came up with Hazmat Olympics. Now we've done this for the 2 years now.
Yeah.
And you can make it fun. You have, I think we had 7 different events. You can make it as fun as what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a great idea because, each one of those events came back to an actual knowledge point or technical point that we train on in hazmat, but it was a bit of an opportunity for guys to get together, have fun, blow off some steam. The training is serious, the skill is serious, but you're doing it in a fun way, and the guys have a good time with it.
Yep, agreed.
So I think in that kind of internal training, that's valuable too, right? Having a little bit of lightheartedness, because if all it is you're beating the guys into the ground with training, they're going to be hating life and hating you.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but I think we do a fair job with that. I think our trainers are definitely top notch.
Stephen, Randy, and I are. Oh yeah,
we'll toot horns. I don't care.
Thank you.
We have a good time with it. We do a good job.
No, but I mean, we do put a lot of work into it, and I think Randy you're the one that we're going to is saying, hey, this is what we'd like to do for the next training. We meet with you and say, yeah, this is what we'd like to do. And you say, okay, yeah, but let's do it this way, or let's tweak it this way, or tell us, yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the other things that's also important is, not only do we put on quality training, but here's the other thing, like, how do we track that for individuals, right? So, because this brings up a thing, it's good enough to put on trainings, and we do a great job of it, and we try and bring on varied training, because I will tell you, we don't repeat the same trainings year after year. Typically, if we hit a subject, we don't circle back to it in a grand sense for 2 or 3 years. So that way, it's not beat into over and over and over the same thing every year. So, but I think tracking training is also important too, right? Because there's a compliance or an audit aspect to everything you do as well, especially industrially.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, because did we talk about audit? We did talk. We had an episode about audits,
right? I think we talked
about
that in audits. Yep.
Yeah. And we've gotten called to the carpet not only by internal auditors to wear your training records, but it's I think. So Jeff, you were talking about 1910-120. Doesn't say in there that you have to like track the training, and then after that you can recertify your guys after they've met so many hours?
1910 does say 8 hours per year, but we do an internal audit, and it's conducted by the organization to evaluate the effectiveness of its trainings. It's review of the training records, assess training content, but it also does include employee feedback, which we do get every time.
That's true. That's a big part of it too, is trying to figure out what people liked and didn't like. And we're not trying to cater to easy, right? That's not what it is. We're not trying to get to the least common denominator. But we also don't need to be breaking backs, busting balls, and making people hate life. That's not good for team building, and that's not good for cohesiveness.
But there's also the aspect of it. There's an evaluation of the trainers. Mm-hmm. So us doing the teaching. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're not doing a good job, or we're doing stupid stuff, or let me rephrase that. The people that are doing the work, what do they want to be trained on? Mm-hmm. So, and then also the training effectiveness, whether the training improves the knowledge, skills, or is it just stupid nonsense stuff?
You bring up a point about trainers. So let's ask the question. So, Jeff, are we dedicated trainers?
Absolutely.
Well, we have dedication, but what I'm saying is training our only job?
No, training is not our only job. I think all three of us, I know, have different jobs. We put in time and effort outside of our daily jobs to make sure that we're putting on a top-notch program for our quarterly trainings. Mm-hmm. I think we've already started our third quarter training. We started that back in 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're looking at a year. We're almost looking at a year. I don't know how much of that you heard, but yeah, we're looking about a year in advance. I'm not going to say it yet, so.
I think one of the points I do want to raise is, we're taking this on top of a bunch of other things, but some of the people actually have the luxury of that is their dedicated job, is to be the trainer and put on training for a department. And that's a fantastic
you didn't hear anything I said, did you?
No, I did not. You broke up hardcore.
We heard about two words.
Sakes, this is bullshit.
There we go.
No, so yeah, we all have different jobs, and this is above and beyond what we normally do for our jobs. The training that we put on is usually about a year in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in most cases, it's not even our second job. This is kind of third or fourth level of jobs that we have within our own facility.
Yeah, I think the dirty secret is any big facility you work in, the longer you work there, the more hats they give you, man. It's like some sort of like shitty job, like door prize. You come in, here's another job for you. Da-da-da! So it's,
yeah. That's why I always go by the philosophy of under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, it always makes you look good.
Yep.
So for our shop, we don't have dedicated trainers. We have people who do that on top of what they do, and we do a great job of it. I will grant you that. We put in a lot of time and effort because it's a passion project, I think, for us.
But I can tell you also, our organization does invest a lot of time and money into what we do. So they allow us the opportunity to find time to meet so that we can get this training scheduled.
Agreed. Yeah,
because it is no easy task.
Right. So while we might not be dedicated trainers, they will provide equipment, they will provide food, they will provide a lot of things for us. It's just they can't provide us a full-time job doing it.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think it's important to say that.
Hold that one to that, but
I think it's important to say that I think we shoot for proficiency over compliance. I think that we do our best to keep trainings interesting and varied. We try not to repeat the same stories over and over because that doesn't help anything. It makes people feel bored.
I do agree with what you're saying, but I think we are definitely in compliance with what we do.
Oh, absolutely.
Over and above.
Yep.
So, because we got that, because a lot of us, here's the thing. So, while we put on 32 hours, we offer a lot of extracurricular trainings, and I will tell you, our active members have way over 32 hours for a year. So they are over 100% for what we give and what we require.
But so, along with training, there are other requirements, and I'm quickly trying to look through this. But there's also medical specifications that you need to meet. And I have this written down, and I don't remember where I put this. But you're talking like medical surveillance.
You talking like the fit testing and stuff?
Yep, I know it's fit testing. And one thing that we do lack on is I believe you need to have a physical every year.
I seem to get one every year.
So I guess it would depend on what you consider a physical, how far in depth you're going with it. But I get one every year.
Mm-hmm.
I get one, but it's not through our organization. I do not have a turn your head and cough physical.
Yeah, mine's never turn your head and cough. But
here's the thing: I don't know if that's actually required. That kind of physical. I think they need to prove that you're able to do the job. But I don't know if they need to do the old turn and cough. I don't know if that's actually physically stated because we do get some checks, right?
I mean, to be clear though, Jeff usually goes in for a head cold and his doctor tells him to turn his head and cough. So
I just like visiting the clinic. That's all I like. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
is it a free clinic?
So, but no. So I mean, we do like lung function checks,
I'll go there for stuffy nose.
They check. They check for exposures to certain solvents that we have on site. They do eye checks, hearing checks. I think what else they do? They check the basic vitals.
Blood pressure, vitals, eyes,
ears. So, and that's where it gets blurry because like my annual physical, I don't think they do hearing. That's every other or every third year, but that's for my normal job, not for the ERT side of things.
I don't know,
that
man,
explains a lot.
I know.
I catch that audiology test every year, and you and I don't have the same job class, so I don't know how I warrant that.
I don't catch that audiology test either.
Oh, you don't?
Nope.
They give it to him, he just doesn't catch it.
Straight misses.
Almost got me. I won't say it, but yep.
It's proof for life. I never hear you. It's proof from work. Can't hear shit.
But yeah, I mean, we all have to do the fit testing every year for various masks, and I believe it's back to every 5 years now we have to do a pulmonary exam.
I do a pulmonary exam every year.
Do you?
Yes.
Dude, I get mine every... Dude, this is weird, because I get mine every 3. I don't get a lung check every year. It might be 3.
I thought it was changed to 5, but it might be 3.
That's fine. I just like being
kind to me and unkind to Jeff.
I just like being locked in a room with the clinic workers.
What they're not telling you, Jeff,
is we have a male examiner for Jeff.
Jeff, for Steve and I, we get the lung function check. You get a PBT, champ. I don't know. Just saying. It's a different kind of check.
Do you have to submit a urine exam too?
Yeah, they have to watch me.
It's so weird. Your tests are way different than mine. But they were a bit in the weeds. But so you're right.
Let's get our head out of the scene, but yes.
As far as training goes, that is a part of it too, right? Because the annual checks fall in completely with things you have to do in addition to the training you have to do.
And really, the pulmonary function part of that is a key feature. I mean, if you're breathing in these chemicals all the time, you're gonna have respiratory issues. So,
Yep.
I just enjoy how they always do that one after the fit test when they've already made you do all the movements.
Unkind, very unkind.
Yep.
But whatever. I'd rather go afterwards, have it affect me, still pass, so that way I know I got it no matter what.
Yep.
So, but you know what, guys? We are kind of wrapping up on our half hour. I think we're going to have to break this into another episode. Because there's no way we got through everything we needed to talk about, because we just talked about internal team dynamics. We have
as always, Jeff hogs the show.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I almost said it. Yep. Darn me. And I, really with the internal stuff, I only went through maybe a quarter of what I had written down. So everyone needs to look at their internal policies on this and maybe look at what OSHA 1910 says and how that relates to their program.
Yeah. Yeah. How are they running their program? What do they actually want out of that program? Right. It's compliance versus proficiency once again.
Yep.
So what do you want? Do you want trained people to do the job? Tamed people to do the job? Or you just want a compliance check where, we have them, we're there around the facility, good enough, let's get us our break on insurance.
Yep. God, we're kids. But
young and hard, friend. All right, I'll tell you what, how about we break here, and then we'll have to pick up with that episode 2. So
if you'd like to reach out to us, talk more about training, any other topics, how are they going to reach us, Randy?
You know what? There's a couple different methods. So if you caught us through Apple Podcasts, you can always leave a comment there. If you caught us through YouTube, you can leave a comment on the video or at hazmatharder@gmail.com, if I'm not mistaken.
Or also, I believe we have a new email out there as well.
Ooh,
if I'm not mistaken. That is hazmatharder.com.
Oh, nice.
Just,
so the website,
go to the website and it'll link you right to all of our episodes, and you can leave your comments there or send us an email.
Love letters, hate mail, whatever.
Hate mail, yeah, we're good with. I'm good with that.
I'm used to that. It's okay.
Right. I got thick skin.
Seems like normal internal corporate communications.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just the type of mail we send to each other all the time.
Right. All right. So stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to pick back up on training. So until then, Hazmat Harder.
Hazmat Harder.
Hazmat Harder.